Hello, and thank you for joining us for the KREM 2 News Week in Review. I'm Cody Proctor. Each weekend, we walk you through the headlines from the past week in the Inland Northwest. Let's get started with one of the biggest news stories of the past few days.
Well, 30-year-old Dallas Schuler pleaded guilty to 12 counts related to child pornography and enticement of a minor. A spokesperson for the Eastern District Court of Washington tells me the investigation began with a single victim, but expanded to include 37 victims, all minors. KREM 2 News previously reported that Dallas Schuler was originally arrested and indicted in May of 2024. At the time, he was a paraeducator for Riverside Elementary School in Chattaroy. As the case progresses, I spoke with the Riverside School District Superintendent. He says he is sending his thoughts and prayers to all that have been impacted. He added he hopes this chapter is nearing its end for the Riverside School District.
I just pray for healing, and I'm hopeful that this day brings a little bit more closure that can help with that healing, even though I know it's going to be a long time. The number one word for Riverside is community. We are special, we're unique, we're different. When there's division, there's unity here.
Now, based on both court documents and my conversation with Superintendent Russell, as of now, we don't know if any of these minors were part of the Riverside School District, but we do know many of Schuler's crimes were initiated online. Officials tell me Schuler pled guilty without a plea agreement, which means both the defense and prosecution are allowed to argue for any sentence within a range of 15 years up to life. The judge will then make a final decision. Schuler's sentencing is set for January 21st at 9:30 a.m. I am told that it's expected for victim impact statements to be made in court. I'm reporting in downtown Spokane, Regan Gallo, KREM 2 News.
All of this open land right behind me won't stay that way for very long. That's because a developer plans to build more than 400 homes right here, making it one of Rathdrum's largest new developments. It's called the Solara subdivision, and it's located near the intersection of Bakel and Meyer Roads. The plans call for 436 homes and 21 industrial lots. Rathdrum's Planning and Zoning Commission decided to recommend City Council's approval of the new subdivision, but some neighbors worry the city's infrastructure is not prepared for this growth, citing concerns with traffic mitigation and impacts to water supply. Diane Winslow lives right next to the property. She'd like to see the city take more deliberate steps in preparing for future growth.
We are a community here that looks to people to do some planning that would make a difference for the future here, for people that do move in here. And it seems like they're just trying to pack people in. Our infrastructure is not prepared for this, and it's going to be too bad if we have a huge disaster to say, oh, I guess we didn't plan right, did we?
The city says the developer has previously agreed to facilitate road improvements at intersections with deficiencies, and city leaders also claim the existing water supply is sufficient to support the new subdivision. Now, a city traffic study says the project is expected to add nearly 500 more cars on the road during rush hour. Now, that study says the roundabout at Lancaster and Meyer should help alleviate some of that projected congestion in the area. Still, engineers believe that more turn lanes and road improvements are still needed as the subdivision fills in. Reporting in Rathdrum, Amanda Rowley, KREM 2 News.
As we go to break, here's a check of your forecast. Welcome back to the KREM 2 News Week in Review. It's been a busy week across the Inland Northwest, and we want to help you catch up on some of the stories you might have missed.
We are here at Rosars because you can drop off treats for the troops at any area Rosars, Spokane area Rosars, now through the end of the month. But I want to take you through a couple of items that you need to know. Number one, we always get asked what to donate. You can donate everything from small sauces. In fact, there was one in here. Let me see. Yes, this one was a great example that someone donated. It's plastic, so easy to ship, fairly small. It can make anything taste good, even when they're far away from home. Single serving drink mixes, different snacks. I get asked, well, what to donate? So we've created a top 10 list of items that you can choose from, or you can come up with something yourself. But you can get that list very easily by texting the word treats to 509-448-2000. We'll send that list right to your home. Okay, the other important thing is where to donate. This year we have these boxes. Super easy to find at Spokane area Rosars. You'll see treats to troops. We fill them with a bag so that we can pull these donated items out and then sort them. In fact, I'm going to be picking up this one today, and we just need to keep filling those up, and we have until the end of the month. So we have about 2 weeks. The end date is October 31st. And then what happens? People are going, where do all the treats go? Well, we work with a couple of great partners, including the spouses group out at Fairchild. They do all the organization. Right now, they're saying about 250 to 300 packages will be sent around the world. That number can change because we base it on who is deployed from Fairchild to Air Force Base. We never know exactly where the packages are going. That is, of course, some classified information. We for security reasons, we don't know where they're going, but they do out on base. They make sure everyone has an address and they ship it around the world. And then the other thing is we have a local nonprofit called Favored Few Support Crew, and they're underwriting the cost of the shipping. We're so grateful to them for doing that, because then we get to use all these treats, put them into packages, and send them a little piece of home while they're serving from their family and friends. I'll send it back to you.
6 candidates vying for 3 city council seats face dozens of voters tonight at the downtown Spokane Library. Those 6 candidates vying for seats in 3 districts up for grabs in next month's election. Director of Communications for Spokane City Council and President of the Spokane NAACP, Lisa Gardner, opened tonight's forum, thanking the dozens of community members who came to the library. Among the questions asked, how the council member candidates will help protect immigrants. Councilmember Jonathan Bingle, who is hoping to keep his seat in District 1, says helping immigrants coming into this country legally is a priority as a city leader, adding he's reached out to Congress and the president asking for help for legal immigrants living in Spokane.
I wrote a letter to Congressman Baumgartner and President Trump and said, listen, I understand what you're trying to do on the southern border, but we have a lot of folks who came here legally that are struggling to remain here legally, that are stuck in a lot of bureaucracy that's keeping them from being able to stay here legally. And is there a grace period?
His opponent for District 1, candidate Sarah Dixit, says as a child of Indian immigrants, the issue is deeply personal, adding her support for all immigrants in the city, regardless of their status.
I attended the June 11th protest because I believe, regardless of legality, people are here and our immigrant communities deserve to feel safe.
In the race for District 2, candidate Alejandro Barrientos says the issue is personal as a child of Colombian immigrants. He emphasized funding for nonprofits helping immigrants would be a major priority.
Continue to fund the organizations like Manzanita House, Nuestras Raíces, Thrive, World Relief. These organizations are the ones that are having the most impact with the immigrant community because they know firsthand what they're going through and know the issues and challenges that they're facing.
His opponent in District 2, Kate Tellis, says we're in a constitutional crisis under the current administration and its immigration priorities, saying it's up to the city and community to push back.
Right now, with the Trump administration is scary beyond words. We are seeing things we have never seen before. And it is up to us, both as residents and as public officials, to call it out.
In the race for District 3, incumbent Zach Sapone is running for re-election. He says everyone in Spokane should feel like they belong and will support city policies that help immigrants.
I'm supporting and championing the immigrant aid fund in the next city budget. Our city has a critical role in defending people who live here and making sure that they're able to stay together as families.
Sapone's challenger Christopher Savage says his work with nonprofits helping immigrants in Spokane speaks for itself. He says he wants to bring the same passion to the District 3 seat to help those coming into the country become citizens.
To help out with people trying to get here, trying to make sure that they can start a life and make sure that they become active citizens here in Spokane, because we all belong here in Spokane. And I've been to helped out with certain organizations like Thrive International and World Relief, as well as Latinos in Spokane.
Community members asked that and many more questions to all 6 city council candidates, hoping to address growing concerns across the city. Connor McAvoy, KREM 2 News.
Earlier today, North Idaho College's Board of Trustees met face-to-face with the Northwest Commission on Colleges and Universities. This is the group that will decide whether the college keeps its accreditation. Now, an accreditation is the college's official seal of approval. Without it, NIC would lose access to federal financial aid and risk shutting down.
The college's accreditation has been in jeopardy since 2021. That's when the NWCCU first warned the college about instability in board leadership and governance. By 2022, the commission formally sanctioned NIC. The year after that, it placed the college on show cause status. That's the last step before losing accreditation entirely. That move followed years of administrative turnover, lawsuits, and board conflict that created a climate of uncertainty for students and staff. College leaders spent the past year trying to restore confidence and stability under President Nick Swain. In February this year, the NWCCU saw this progress and downgraded NIC's sanction to probation while keeping the college under close supervision. Still, the commission wants to see lasting improvements in 3 main areas: trustee conduct, employee retention, and financial sustainability.
NIC has until April 1st next year to fully resolve all issues and prove to the commission stability is here to stay. In the newsroom, Amanda Rowley, KREM 2 News.
Hello, I'm Cody Proctor. Thank you for joining us here on KREM 2 News. You're watching the Week in Review, where we bring you some of the biggest news stories of the past week.
Walking out of the house this morning, it was kind of like a reality check or just a little bit of a tease of maybe what the winter has in store for us this year. But nonetheless, once those temperatures start to drop, it's a good reminder that, hey, we've got to start getting our homes prepared, whether it's the gardens, the lawn, the home exterior, even just your cars as well. Making sure you take the time right now to get prepared might be able to take some of the stress off of your shoulders a little bit later into the year. So fall is right now. Some of those leaves have started to already kind of remove themselves from the tree. So let's go ahead and start in the garden and the lawn area, right? So go ahead and make sure you're getting the rake out, get those sidewalks, the grass, the drains, anything you can do to get on top of it now to make it feel like less of a major project by the time the trees are fully bare. And it's also a good time to check on your water systems, especially those outdoor ones. You can start with a simple disconnect and drain of all your outdoor hoses. That's something you can easily do here today. And then if you have a sprinkler system, get those blown out or have them professionally serviced. Again, these are just a few reminders. I know many of you already are aware of what to do by the time winter rolls around, but it's never a bad thing to be prepared and to be proactive. For now, reporting here in Spokane, Brandon T. Jones, KREM 2 News.
SQUIM's Security Services Northwest protects everything from shopping centers to school sports. Joe D'Amico started the company to keep people safe and happy, but lately he's finding business a bit too taxing.
We're hearing people they're grumbling about it.
On October 1st, a new state sales tax went into effect. For the first time ever, services are taxed, not just hard goods, everything from pottery classes to food banks. The 10% tax includes security services provided by D'Amico's company. To him, taxing safety services makes no sense.
Like if you want to go buy a gun vault, there's no sales tax on that. So that's kind of like a safety mechanism. So what's the difference between a vault driving around on wheels, you know, an armored car? or any other safety services.
Security Services Northwest is now suing the State Department of Revenue, saying the new tax is too vague and unevenly applied. It's requesting the tax be delayed until January 1st so the 90,000 businesses impacted statewide can adapt. He believes the tax will ultimately be passed on to a wide variety of customers, costing just about everyone in the state.
Anytime you see an officer at any of these locations, whether it's a Safeway, a QFC, a Fred Meyer, they're going to pass that on into the cost of food.
The Department of Revenue says in just 2 weeks it's received more than 400 phone calls asking for information about the new tax. It also says it's issued more than 1,000 rulings confirming who has to pay, but confusion remains. A DOR spokesman tells King 5 the agency held a series of listening sessions in July, giving impacted industries an opportunity to voice their concerns and questions, adding Revenue doesn't have the legal authority to modify the law. Any changes would need to be done through the legislative process. Money from the tax is expected to bring $2.6 billion to the state over the next 4 years, an estimated $4 million of it from D'Amico's clients. He wonders at what cost.
It's just more money out of the consumer's pocket.
In Sequim, Eric Wilkinson, King 5 News.
Welcome back. Before we wrap up this edition of the KREM 2 News Week in Review, we want to remind you, you can get the latest newscasts and weather forecasts anytime on KREM 2 Plus. It's free to watch and download for Roku, Amazon Fire, and Apple TV. Now, here's one more story before we go.
Every time that I leave the ground, everything just kind of, the sense of serenity just flows through.
Jeremy Bellwood finds peace here at Painfield Airport. 13 years as a pilot, and still nothing can top the way this feels.
As you're flying around the maneuvers, looking down every now and then, it's like, wow, this is just so awesome to be up in this space.
When he built this plane in 2017, it was only meant to be a hobby. But 8 years later, the Glass Air Sportsman is living up to its name.
I've just always loved baseball. You know, I played as a kid for a few years and love watching it at the stadium.
When he isn't in the sky, you can find Jeremy at a Seattle Mariners game.
Been a season ticket holder for 10 years, and right now they are on fire.
Watching his teams rise to success from the stands.
Once they got into the playoffs, I wanted to do something special.
Tuesday morning, Jeremy took Tridents up to a whole new level over downtown.
Fuel pump.
Flying his blue and white plane in the path of a Trident right before the Mariners come home to continue the championship series.
It has to be one contiguous line. You can't pick up the pen and move to another spot on the sky and redrive.
In order to seize the moment, he used Google Earth to make sure his coordinates were spot on.
Because I wanted the middle of the Trident kind of right over T-Mobile Park.
The Trident-shaped flight also took off online. But Jeremy says his inspiration stayed grounded in one thing: the Mariners.
You know, we need to get these next 2 wins, and fortunately we've got 3 games at home in order to try to make it happen.
If it does, he'll take off again to cheer on his team from above as they head to the World Series. Madeline Carter, King 5 News.
Thanks for joining us for the KREM 2 News Week in Review. Be sure to keep it here on KREM 2 for more news throughout the weekend. I'm Cody Proctor. Thanks for watching.